Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thanks for joining me. Let's get right to it. I tell you, this story that I'm about to bring you is really just a doozy to me. It's really insane if you ask me completely. But let me give you a little backstory here. I don't support the Black Lives Matter organization. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a racist then." No, no. Let me get this out there and let me make it clear to everyone involved. I'm not a racist. I just don't believe in an organization that incites violence or is okay with violence within their community. Let me give you an example. Back about a year or so ago, there was a shooting of an individual. He died. It was a police-involved shooting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So Black Lives Matter, of course, showed up to protest. And up to this point, I had supported them and defended them. But they were asked also, do you care? Basically, do they care about the drive-by that killed 4 black individuals in a black neighborhood in Baton Rouge the night before? And their representative clearly, in no uncertain terms, stated clearly that we don't care about the violence within what happened there. We only care about police officers shooting black people. Well, first off, I don't like anybody getting shot that's unarmed. I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, whatever. But that's when I lost respect for the organization. Now, I still support the belief that black people should not be shot simply because they're black. Okay? But the facts are, white people get shot, black people get shot by police all the time. It's a systemic issue that we must deal with, I believe. And inciting violence, as some people from Black Lives Matter have done, has only made the situation worse and is only going to make police officers more trigger happy, if you ask me. This is just me looking from the outside in. I have no clue how police officers are going to, react to these kind of things. But I know myself, when you have people inciting violence against officers, I would be a little more trigger happy myself. So, that said, let's get right to this story here that I bring you. It's on leoweekly.com. And it's a little article, a little thing written by Chanel Helm. She's a Black Lives Matter leader in Louisville, Kentucky. And she has a list of demands, basically. She calls them a list of requests. But they're really a list of demands on white people. Now, some of them I don't even want to get into much because they get to, name calling and things like that. But we're going to go word for word, verbatim, on every single one of these 3. Or 10, actually. I'm sorry. And let's see exactly what these demands are. So, let me read the first part. This is the article is supposedly a package of stuff of people from Louisville, Kentucky, reacting to Charlottesville, and this is her reaction to Charlottesville. Just remember, Chanel Helm. Number 1, she says, "White people, if you don't have any descendants, will your property to a black or brown family, preferably one that lives in generational poverty." Now, I feel bad for people that live in poverty. I should know. I live there. That's one reason I'm here making YouTube videos, because as a disabled American, it's very difficult to find a job, especially here in Nacogdoches, Texas. But to tell people that they have to give up their homes just because they don't have children is ludicrous. These people have worked their entire lives. If you have the money, if you've had the money to own a home and have it paid off to where you could leave it to family members, there is no way on earth that you should have to give your house to anyone. If you want to will your house to someone in your family, that is your job, your thing. You should not be required to give your house to anyone. I don't care what color you are or what color they are. I don't care. This is one of the dumbest statements I have seen in a long time. And I've been covering Donald Trump. Number 2, white people. If you're inheriting property you intend to sell upon acceptance, give it to a black or brown family. You're bound to make that money in some way, in some other white privileged way. Well, let me put it this way. I'm pretty damn poor. I have not seen really any white privilege, really. I have tried to make money. Shoot, that don't happen. So, if I had a family member leave me a house in their will, I'm sorry, you're not getting my house. First off, if somebody left me a house, I probably would not be selling it in the first place. But if I were because I needed the money, you would not be getting my house. There again, I am not giving you something that you didn't work for, that somebody else didn't give you. I'm sorry if somebody in your family does not leave you a house. I've never had anyone leave me property or a house when they've passed away. But if they did, I would not be giving it to anyone unless it was somebody within my family or somebody I knew that really needed a home. Just because people don't want to go out and get it doesn't mean you're going to be given it by me or anyone else. Now, because I am a very kind individual, though, I would give my house to somebody if they really needed it and I already owned a house. You know, but they would really need it. Like it's a disabled person that can't find work, like I haven't been able to find work, then you're damn straight I'd help them out. It wouldn't matter what skin color they were, though. So I would not give my house to somebody just because they're black. Screw that. Number 3, if you are a developer or realty owner of a multifamily housing, build sustainable complexes in black or brown blighted neighborhoods and let black or brown people live there rent-free. Now, I receive a Social Security check because I'm disabled. And I still have to pay rent. My wife and I pay a total of $588 a month. Every month. And up until last month, that was $618 every month. Our income kind of dwindled a little bit. But that said, if I have to pay rent, and I'm receiving federal subsidy for me to be able to pay any kind of bill because I can't get a freaking job to save my ass, and I have to pay $588 a month in rent, your bitch asses can pay some rent too. Don't expect nothing given for free. It's just like my Social Security check. There may come a day when the government will say no more, and I'll be screwed. Will I be upset? Sure, but at the same time, it's not mine. Thanks to the taxpayers of America, I'm able to survive. But it doesn't mean it's going to always be there. It doesn't mean it's a given. That's the reason I'm trying so hard to make a successful YouTube channel. But if you sit here and say you think developers should build multi-million-dollar buildings and then let you live in them rent-free, you're crazy. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't expect to live anywhere rent-free. If I happened to live with my mother, I'd be paying her rent. That's just insane. So if this is some of the things that Black Lives Matter believe in, then this is another reason I don't support them. Let's move on to number 4, shall we? White people. If you can afford to downsize, give up your home you own to a black or brown family, preferably a family from generational poverty. Okay, here's the thing. Most white people, or people in general, if they can afford to downsize, part of that is because they can sell their home and make money to afford them to make that change. So giving you their home is likely going to kind of screw up their ability to downsize. You have to be able to afford another home, dumbasses. Number 5, white people. If any of the people you intend to leave your property to are racist assholes, change the will and give your property to a brown or black family, preferably one from generational poverty. Now, I understand the sentiment here. You shouldn't reward racists and stuff. But you know what? At the same time, this whole list is kind of racist in and of itself. Have you not looked at... this whole thing is nothing but, anti-white propaganda BS. And this is not my normal viewpoints on things. I generally believe that everyone should have an equal footing in life, and I believe that in some places you don't have that. Now, some of it is an issue of lack of spending on education and things like that, but also a lot of it is the choices by the people made. Part of the reason I may not be able to make a living now is because I screwed up in college and didn't finish. I own that every day. I have to live with that every day because of my choice. My choice is to not get things done the way I should have. But these people expect something to be handed to them just because you have a racist asshole that you might leave your house to? Now, I don't know of anybody in my family that's racist, really. But if I found out that somebody I loved and had willed my house to, or willed property to, was a racist, sure, I may be a little more apprehensive to give them what I was going to give them. But I'm not going to go out and change my will to give my house to somebody I don't know unless I feel that was something I should do. If I owned a home and I didn't have anyone to give it to, and the only person I had to give it to was a racist white person of some sort, I might give it to somebody else. I might give it to charity. I'd probably give it to somebody like, Habitat for Humanity to fix up and give to somebody, a veteran, a disabled person, something. But I'm not going to sit there and just hand my property over to somebody because of the color of their skin. People, the color of your skin is nothing to be proud of. It's nothing to be like, rah, rah, I deserve everything just because of the color of my skin. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard, and that's what this list continues to say. Number 6, and one of the biggest doozies on the list, white people, rebudget your monthly so you can donate to black funds for land purchasing. So basically, you should give up your money to put into a fund so black people can buy land. Nobody is putting their money in a fund for me to buy land, so why the hell would I put my money in a fund for other people to buy land? That's what things like Freddie Mac and things used to be for. Whatever they call them now. Fannie Mae, I think, is the one that's still viable. I don't remember for sure, but all I do know is that there are organizations out there to help people get housing. Not based on their skin color, but based on their need for housing. So to sit there and tell people that you need to rebudget your monthly, whatever your monthly is, I'm assuming the person that can't write here is saying monthly income. But I'm sorry, if I rebudget my monthly income to where I save money, I'm not giving that money to somebody else just because of the color of their skin or just because they say I should. This is the most insane list of demands I have ever seen from anybody. Number 7, white people, especially white women, because this is ya specialty. Ya specialty. I wonder. I'm going to continue. Nosy Jenny and meddling Kathy. Get a racist fired. Y'all know what the fuck they be saying. You are complicit when you ignore them. Get your boss fired. They racist too. First off, go back to grammar school. Go back to grammar class. that was almost impossible to read. Now, my grammar is terrible, but dear God, if you're going to put something out for public consumption, fix it. But, that's just how it goes. But let's jump into this a little bit. Now, I don't like racists. I don't support them. I don't like them. I never will. But this is America. Okay? And unless somebody has done something to discriminate against somebody, they should not lose their job. Okay? Just because they have their own viewpoints or own opinions doesn't mean that they have discriminated against anybody. You're a boss, for example, or your coworker. It is very possible that you could have some racist in your office. But that doesn't mean they're breaking any laws or or discriminating based on race or anything. They may just not like a certain race of people. And do I think it's stupid? Yes. I think hating any race of people is stupid. An entire group of people hating them just because you don't like how it goes, whatever. But to get them fired when they have done nothing to discriminate against you or anybody else, but just happen to hold a view that they don't like a certain race of people, that should not be a reason to get them fired. That's just my opinion. Number 8, backing up number 7. This should be easy, but for all those sheetless Klan, Nazi, and other little dick white men will be returning to work. Get they ass fired. Call the police even. They look suspicious. So, this is coming out of what happened in Charlottesville. Now I know that a place can fire you if you make their business look bad. But to sit here and be like, and go with the little dick white men BS and, and all this mess, but it don't make any damn sense. You bring fallacies into the argument. That's dumb. You're supposed to be trying to make a valid argument, but you're not. But you continue say, you make another number just so you can sit there and run down black or white men again. People shouldn't lose their jobs just because they protest something or their views. Now, if you have a contract, something in your employment contract that states you cannot make the company look bad and you can be fired for doing so, then sure. A lot of universities, for example, have policies like that from what I am told. I don't know if that is true, but I have been told that repeatedly. So if you make a business look bad, I'm sure they might fire you. But to sit there and say, call the police because they look suspicious? Not only are you putting somebody's life in danger by calling the cops, 2, you're wasting the cops' time. Because if the cops go out looking for a suspicious person who isn't in the least bit suspicious, and they get shot, that's on you. If the person you called the cops on gets shot because he's walking into his own home because you said he looks suspicious, or say opening the door to his own business because he looks suspicious, that's on you. Okay. I'm really getting over time here. So let me hurry up number 9 and number 10. Okay, backing up number 8. If any white person at your work or as you enter spaces and you overhear a white person praising the actions from yesterday, as in Charlottesville, please get a pic, get their name, more info. Hell, find out where they work, get them fired. But certainly address them, and if you need to use your hands, use them. Well, That right there is consider, that to me is inciting violence, which is illegal. You are not allowed to incite violence in this country. It is firmly against the law. But okay. And sure, I think if you see racism, you should confront them. But there again, unless they've done something to make their employer look bad, or they are discriminating against people at their place of employment, they should not be fired simply for their views. But for me, the biggest issue with number 9 here is the use of violence. I do not support violence. This is why I don't support fascists. I don't support the Antifa or Antifa movement. I don't support anybody that supports violence. And this right here is a call to violence, if you ask me. It's inciting violence, it's suggesting violence, and it is not something that should be happening in my country. Last but not least, number 10. Commit to 2 things. Fighting white supremacy where and how you can. This does not mean taking up knitting unless you're making scarves for black and brown kids in need. There again, leaving out the white people in need. You seem to forget that white people have needs too, that there are white poor people living in poverty. There are lots of white people living in poverty, and every one of these seems to forget that. And funding black or brown people at their work. First off, it is not my job to fund you at your job. If you have a job, your job is supposed to give you the money you need. There's nothing that I'm going to do to support that. I'm not going to give you my money just to make your work more enjoyable for you. But I do agree, the only thing I agree with in this entire list of 10 is fighting white supremacy where and how you can. My suggestion to fight white supremacy does not involve violence, unless violence is brought upon you. I believe in violence as a last resort, violence in self-defense only. But this video right here this video is about something that just takes the cake. 10 demands from a Black Lives Matter leader who doesn't seem to get it. I don't get it. I never will get it. People like this just don't really make any sense to me. Because they sit there, they want to rail against racism, rail against police, tell white people that they need to give up their homes, yet they don't care about the violence in their own community. And they don't realize that making a list like this is just as racist as somebody going down the street and saluting, a freaking Confederate flag or a swastika. This is just as bad, just as racist. And if you don't think so, that's fine. Feel free to leave your comments down below. But all in all, I think this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire life. This is the worst list I've ever seen. Not only does it make black people look racist, it makes black people look weak, like they can't provide for themselves. I'd like to thank the person over at Red Pill Black. She's the one that I saw a video of this morning that brought this to light, and I thought maybe I could shed some light on it and bring it to more people. And I think she had a valid point. I'm going to try to find a link to her video down below and make sure you put it down below. That way you can go see what she said, because she's the one that inspired me to make this video. And hit the like, subscribe button down below. Please share, and have a great Labor Day weekend.